Hi, I'm Scottlin, and welcome back. Thank you for joining me here on my live show, Your Inner Genius. I'm so excited to have you here today. Please like and subscribe below if you want to help keep this content coming to you. And also please send in your questions. I'm going to be taking questions that you send in advance and addressing some of them on the future live shows. So the sooner you send one in, the sooner I can respond. I would love that. I would love to hear from you guys. Also, any comments you might have, anything. So today on Your Inner Genius, I want to talk about one way to love yourself right now. Have you been frustrated with life or discouraged or bored in the past or maybe even now? To be honest, do you ever just need a shot in the arm, a way to get your courage going? Do you want to just enjoy your life again? What if I told you you could do one small thing, just one, to start loving your life again right now? Is that something you might be interested in? All right, well, before I do that and before we head there, I do want to give a shout out to a couple of my fabulous viewers who wrote in. The first one is Manoj. Hi, Manoj. You wrote in a few days ago about my show, 3 Ways to Stop Obsessing on the Negative. So thank you for writing in. And Manoj says, great thoughts, Anne. Great thoughts. Great thoughts to get out of my comfort zone, to stop feeling obsessed with the negative. Golden words. Well, I'm so glad, Manoj, that this gave you some ideas to help you stop obsessing about the negative. It's never worth it. It gets us nowhere, right? So thank you so much for writing in. I really appreciate your kind words. And I have one more today also. And this one is from AJ in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. I think that's Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. And AJ wrote, love it. Keep sharing your gifts, Anne. Well, thank you both. I always appreciate hearing from you. It's literally the high point of my day. So thank you for writing in. The rest of you, please continue to write in. I would love to hear from you and get your questions. So are you loving life right now? Are you just loving life right now? Now, you don't have to be super excited to be loving life. Maybe you're just, I'm loving life right now. Or maybe it's like, I am loving my life right now. It can be so many different ways that you can love your life, and one person's super excitement doesn't necessarily need to be the same as the other person's relaxed enjoyment of life. But let me ask you, are you loving it? Well, often my clients will say something to me like, you know, Anne, I'm just not happy anymore. I don't know why. My job is okay. My relationships are okay. Everything's just kind of pretty much okay. I have nothing to complain about. I'm not bored. But they say, I also know I'm just not happy. Well, so today I'm going to respond to that here on Your Inner Genius. Again, one way to discover how to love your life again right now. You can go on an adventure in this discovery, like your own Indiana Jones. And in this case, it's to rediscover one part of your inner genius, to rediscover your lost artist. That is your campaign. Would you like to go on this journey with me? Well, why lost? Why is my artist lost? Good question. You really want to know the answer to that? We have become experts at denying our joy. Isn't that sad? We've become experts at denying our joy. And to rediscover your lost artist is one way to start loving your life again right now. Well, you may say, I'm not an artist. I don't think I'm artful. Well, you do create something, I'm sure. And you may not know you're an artist, or you may have actually forgotten, which is very likely, or even blocked it out. So if you say, I'm not artistic, okay, fair enough. But you do creative things, right? I mean, do you develop software, or have you ever solved a puzzle, or ever cooked a nice meal, or wrapped a gift, or anything? Anything creative? I could list a lot of other things that go on even in daily life that's creative. So creativity is part of your human DNA. There are often these forgotten or ignored places deep within you where your artist dwells. And that artist is a beautiful, creative, imaginative, joyful artist. So when clients say to me, I don't know why I'm just not happy, I ask, well, what did you used to love? What did you used to love? Back when you were a little kid, at home, playing with your friends or by yourself or at school or in high school. What did you used to love that brought you joy back before you became obsessed with, being a grown-up and jobs and careers and advancement? And I'll ask, they might come up with something and say, oh my gosh, I absolutely loved blank. And I'll say, well, do you do anything like that anymore? That's a good question. And often the answer is no. And it doesn't have to be the same thing, but they haven't been employing their inner artist in a way that they know makes them happy. So let's find how that works for you as an adult. Because there are forgotten places in your mind. There's forgotten places in your mind where your childhood creativity is waiting for you to come out and play. Isn't that beautiful? Your childhood creativity is just waiting for you to come out and play again. Your inner artist isn't gone, guys. You just have to find him again, find her again. Your inner artist is not gone. No matter what you think, forgotten, blocked about him or her, they're still there. When I was in college, my freshman year, I got to do a semester abroad in more than one country. And one of the countries we went to was Russia, which was phenomenal. I had, at that time, no idea how absolutely fantastic Russia was, or how huge it was, or the scope of all of its, all of its nature, all of its natural resources, the beauty. It was spectacular. Riding the trains through Russia in late October when there's still golden leaves on the trees and also snow coming down sometimes. It was just absolutely amazing. Well, one of the things that I loved about being in Russia too were the handcrafts, and we'd go to little handcraft fairs or markets and see them. And if you've traveled a lot in Russia or in Europe, you've seen a lot of these kinds of handcrafts. But one thing I had never seen before, I don't know why, I guess my grandma didn't have one or my aunt or anything. One of the things I'd never seen before was the Russian dolls. You know the kind I mean? They're the kind that have doll inside doll, inside doll, inside doll, inside doll. They're absolutely fantastic. Often they're shellacked in these really bright colors. And I decided I wanted one for sure. I shopped and shopped and shopped and shopped. And the one I liked the most was a wood-burned doll. In other words, the actual etching had been done by wood burning. It was spectacular. So it was wood tone, and like a dark brown or black was all the design, and little hand painted flecks of gold. It was absolutely fantastic. And it had 16 dolls. 16 dolls. Well, it was way out of my budget. And so I had to decide what I was going to do. And so what I decided to do this. Since I couldn't possibly spend that much money, it really wasn't that much money, but to me, on a college budget, it was a lot. I figured I could get away with spending the money if I made it a gift to my mom, because I had promised my mother I would bring her something really nice from my trip after my semester abroad. So I bought it for her. I figured at least I can see it and check it out and play with it and just, enjoy it sometimes whenever I'm with my mom at home. So I did. I bought it for her, and it was beautiful. And there were so many others to choose from, all these different colors. You've seen them, red, purple, green, shellacked in a million ways. Well, these dolls are so much reminded me. Oh, and you know the answer. When you get to the very bottom from this doll that starts, like 2 feet tall, and you get all the way down, you unscrew them, and you take them apart, keep going until you get to the very smallest doll, which is probably, like half an inch tall. Well, sometimes that's where your inner artist is. Your inner artist is in there. You just have to peel back some layers to find it again. Well, what are those layers? I don't know. You tell me. What are the layers that keep you tightly blocked in? Even things that are good layers, right? Family, friends, education, jobs, titles, expectations, all those things. If you take some time to think about this and unwrap them one by one, just take them out of your sight for a few moments. what is it that you might find underneath? If you keep going to find that creative, happy, joyful part of you that used to do artful things or creative things, you will find your inner artist ready and waiting, and you just need to let him or her out. And your artist doesn't wear out, by the way. It doesn't wear out. It might be slightly rusty, but you haven't forgotten how. You haven't forgotten how to be artistic or creative. All it needs is a little practice, a little polish, and you'll be up and running again. So no excuses about, oh, but I can't do that anymore. I wouldn't even know where to start. You're shortchanging yourself. So start loving your life again right now. I'll ask clients who say they're not happy, but they don't want to bother with creative or artistic things. And I said, well, why not? Why don't you do that? Oh, I don't know. You mean, who has the time? I've got a business to run. I've got kids to raise. I've got grad school to get through, or a new job, or I'm planning my retirement. And when I look at them and talk to them about this, they usually aren't joyful. I have a helicopter going over my studio right now. Yes, I do. Okay. There it goes. See, my life isn't perfect. So when I ask these people, when they're not doing these creative things, and I notice that they're not joyful, and even though nothing's critically wrong, they just don't feel alive anymore. They just don't feel fulfilled. But let me ask you this, isn't having a joyful life worth exploring this a little? Would you rather be super busy all the time, or would you rather have joy in your life? A little creativity, a little reflection that lets you come out of your box, that lets you come out of your stack of dolls, that lets your inner artist emerge. Because we have become experts at denying our joy. I said this before. We have hidden it away, layer after layer after layer. Our joyful artist is in there somewhere. You just have to really go looking for it. And once you rediscover your inner artist, you begin recovering what brings you joy. And that is one way to start loving your life again right now. Well, I have heard every excuse in the book, and the number one excuse is, I don't have time. Well, it doesn't take a lot of time. What about 30 minutes a week? 30 minutes a week. Surely you have spent that much time standing in line for takeout or coffee or just sitting at home watching TV, which might be fine and fun and great parts of your life. But what if you could use just those 30 minutes to rediscover your inner artist, to get creative, to get artistic? I mean, what is it you absolutely love to do? I don't know. You tell me. I mean, some people are like, oh, you know what I really used to love to do back in high school? I was in a choir and I absolutely loved to sing. And I said, do you sing now? No. Where would I sing? I live in a small house or an apartment. My neighbors would hear me. It's embarrassing. I don't think I'm good anymore. Who cares? You used to love to sing. Why don't you sing? Oh, I don't know. Well, if you live in your own house, you can sing at home. No one's going to hear you. Do you have a car? Maybe you can sing in the car. I have a couple clients who literally now sing at the top of their lungs in the car every time they have to drive somewhere. Do you really not have time? Because if you have to get from point A to point B, you can sing. And if you really can sing and not care who listens, then you get extra blessing and extra points out of that. What else do you love to do? You like to cook? How about you just turn the news down for 30 minutes, turn it off for 30 minutes, and cook? It's going to make you happier anyway, to feel creative, to create something beautiful that you and even your family can enjoy. Do you like to paint, to write? Is it too noisy for you to write? Is that a problem that you experience? Well, if that's a problem for you, then find a sacred spot somewhere. Find a sacred spot where you can get away and write a bit. Are you a morning person? If you are, get up just a little bit earlier, just a little bit before everyone else, even 30 minutes, and give yourself a chance to express yourself and be creative writing again. Or what if you just have to wait a lot? Do you have to take an elderly relative to medical appointments all the time? Or do you have to take your kids places? Or do you have to wait anywhere? Well, then put your phone down for a while and bring something that you love to do instead. Something you can do with your hands, something you can draw, anything that allows you to express yourself and be creative. Do you love to sketch and draw? Can you not stop binge watching Netflix? Okay, fine. Don't stop then, but do it while you watch. Draw while you watch, sketch while you do something else, while you're sitting in front of the television. It's a start. And don't try to convince me that you were never creative or artistic. I have watched animals and birds be creative. Come on. And if you literally don't have time to do anything creative, not anything that makes you joyful, you message me here. Because I'm pretty good at finding ways to help people be creative, even when they think they don't have any time. And what if you're already a creative for work? Well, lucky you. Are you an artist or an actor or a writer full time? Is this your career? Do you get to be creative every day for work? Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. But don't forget some of the other parts of your inner artist, some other things you used to love to do that bring you joy. Because I know a lot of artists and even professional artists, and even they get burned out, or you hit writer's block, or you get discouraged, or you feel like you're in a rut. Go back to those younger days or any time in your life when you did something that made you so absolutely joyful. Go back and do it again. Or maybe there's something that you always wanted to start. Maybe you never took lessons to learn an instrument and you've always wanted to. Maybe you've always wanted to take a cooking class, or maybe you've always wanted to learn how to build something. I don't know. What is yours? Pick one of those things. Rediscover your inner artist. And why bother again? Why bother? Because when you are truly joyful and fulfilled, even in a small way, it can positively affect every area of your life. If you're fulfilling your artist, your creative soul in a small way, it can positively affect every area of your life. I'll leave you today with the reminder that I shared with you earlier. There are forgotten places in your mind where your childhood creativity is waiting for you to come out and play. And that is one way to start loving your life again right now. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today on Your Inner Genius. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for stopping by. You can check me out on Twitter if you don't follow me already. That's at Anne Scottlin, ANNESCOTTLIN. And I'm also on Instagram. It's more of a mini feed, but I'm expanding that soon. So check me out on Instagram, also at Anne Scottlin. And please, as I said before, if you would be so kind, please like and subscribe below. Send your questions for the show, and please leave comments under this episode so that I can get back to you, so that I can hopefully give you a shout out on my show. And you can see what's the latest with me on my website, which is AnneScottlinCoaching.com. Thank you for letting me be part of your journey. And my wish for you today is to live in your joy. See you again soon.